take it up a notch. Hey, come on, take it up a notch. Raise the bar, take it up a notch. Let's take this party up a notch. Come on, take it up a notch. Take it up a notch. Take it up another notch.
Alrighty, we are back. We are cooking a monster steak. The Mrs. Avenius is in Utah for the week at a training, for supervisor training, leadership training. So we're going to, experiment. Make some fries and steak, maybe a béarnaise sauce to go with it, thanks to our friend Brian in the group. So while I've got that salted, peppered, I got some water getting ready to boil for the jicama to parboil before I bake. And yeah, so let's get going. I'm gonna peel this. Way easier to do it that way. You know what's crazy is I hate using a mandolin because, I don't know, maybe I'm not used to it or good at it or what, but it just feels like, it just kind of like gets in the way. Do wafers and then cut them into fries. Let's grab a deck, line it up, and we're making fries. And notice how quick and easy that was. So, water's boiling. I hope I don't have too much water. Yeah. Let's drop these in. Woo! Hot water. And then one for me. Alright, I'll bring these back to a boil. Well, probably has to take like 10 minutes to boil. So I'm going to boil that and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got the jicama out and strained. I'm going to put it into a bowl. And I'm going to toss that with, let's do some cayenne pepper, paprika. I'll do some garlic powder. I gotta do plenty of salt in that. Okay. So let's be careful I don't spill that. We're gonna get this going because this is gonna cook for 30 to 45 minutes, depending how crunchy I want it to get. I just like these plain. You lose a bit of that sweetness when you cook them, when you boil them, but they're just still barely crunchy, but they're not like overly hard where they are when they're raw. And that'll allow you to bake them and they'll get a little bit softer, but then if you get them well roasted almost, it'll crunchy on the outside. So I'm gonna get some avocado oil. Gosh, I hope I have enough. And then paprika. Let's shake that up a bit. Be liberal. It's gonna take more than you think. I'm actually cayenne. This will give us that kick. That would be a pretty big kick. Let's do some salt. This is diamond crystal, so it's smaller salt crystals. So I can use a little bit more of it versus like a traditional kosher salt. I've gotten used to using the diamond crystal, so it probably looks like I used a ton, but like I said, it's smaller crystals, so it doesn't pack quite as much of a punch as a traditional kosher salt will. So I can use more. Some onion powder. And some garlic powder. And that's brand new. So we're gonna, oh, apparently I used it like that before. Probably put these out on a baking sheet on some foil and then add a little bit more to it so it's all on the tops. It's actually pretty good. Do a little bit more salt. Oh, there's that cayenne. That's good. It's like a delayed, and it's not hot. It's just like a delayed, like, ooh, those are kind of warm. That's good. Ooh, good mix, Kevin. Good mix. All right, oven is preheated. Let's get... Let's use parchment. You're going to want to try to separate these as best possible on the tray, leaving room so they can actually cook. Have some air between them, because the more they are on top of each other and touching, the more to like boil versus really bake. So do the best you can. And I'm gonna stir them a little bit once, kind of halfway through or somewhere in the middle. Oh, that's so good. Ooh, that sauce. Oh, that, ooh. Woo! That's fine for now. I can get too into that. All right, so here's where the timing kicks in. I need to cook these for 30 to 45. So I have a window, but I've got the steak. How long is the steak gonna need to cook for? I guess we'll see. All right, let's put those in. Let's start timer. Good thing the steak, I've got, let's do, you know what? I'm gonna do 15, do 17, because then I'm gonna turn them, stir them. Steak, it's gonna probably be a good 10 to 15 minutes. All right, let's let those sit for a little bit. On the second go around, I'm gonna start the steak. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so got the steak out. Jicama is baking. I have a feeling it's gonna take me longer than I want, and I'd rather the steak get done first so it can rest. So I'm gonna start preheating this, and I'm gonna actually sear it on here first to get some cool lines. Then I'm going to turn it, And when I cross it with the lines, like in 180, or well, let me take that back. When I cross it with the lines on a 90, I'm gonna put it in. That way it starts. I keep cleaning this thing. It's smoking. This looks like a fuck idiot. Okay, so I got the steak out of the fridge. Jicama's in. I think this is gonna take me longer than I expect, so I'm gonna do it now. That way it can, even if it gets done first, I'd rather that and let the jicama finish while this rests. So I'm preheating, or I'm heating up this right now. I'm gonna put some pre-sear lines on it. Get that edge real nice and crispy and seared up. And then when I flip it, I'll sear the other side. I'll turn it 180, and when I do that, I'm gonna put the whole thing right in the oven that's at the temp I want. I've got my thermometer ready. That way I can just not worry about time and just worry about temperature. I'm gonna cook it to about 125 on the middle. That way it'll come up to probably 132 to 134 depending. Maybe I'll cook it to 122. We'll see. But yeah, so that's where I'm at right now on that. Let me get some avocado. I'm gonna use avocado oil. I like avocado oil better high temp. I'm doing this just to help with the sear, really. All right, this is starting to smoke, so it's probably ready. Let me turn this over. Okay, let's get those edges nice and oiled up. That way, yeah, this guy's ready. All right, folks, ready? Yeah. I'm actually gonna do this. I'm just putting some pressure on it so I make sure it hits all the grill and it's not leaving any empty spots. I don't know that I had it hot enough when I first put it on there, which is fine. You know, you truly only need one side to look cool with the cross lines. So this is heating it up more, and you can see the more smoke now. I think it's probably getting hotter. So by the time I actually flip it, it's gonna be hot enough to give it some grill marks. Yeah, I'm glad I did this now. I think this thing's gonna take a lot longer than I expected. Those jicama, and I'm glad that I started those at 17, so if I have to double it even, that's 34, 35. Recipe set up to 45 even, so I think I'm gonna be good. While that's doing that, so I don't get stuck, I'm gonna pull these out. Put this here. Yeah, alright, yep, okay. Because I don't want to overcook it. I'd like it to get nice and rare, or medium rare. So I'm gonna turn it, and that's okay. I'm gonna get a better sear on the other side. And it's smoking. Oh, that pepper and that salt, I can smell it. Oh, it smells so good. You know what I might actually do even? Just because I'm that kind of guy. My wife would say when she met me, she called me that guy. I'm going to do a little bit of this. That's good for that. Oh, this thing smells so good. And what I'm gonna do, I did not, so rule for a tomahawk, as I'm thinking about it right now, I'm actually gonna put it back on the other side, and I'll do that to put the bone on the heating element. That way it's not sticking off the side when it goes in the thing. I'm gonna get this guy ready while that's cooking. Little Smart Shrow, I love this thing. Let's go to, if you go all the way to the gear, then you can make it whatever you want. Sorry for the beeping. I'm gonna go to 120. Let's do 120, because this is such a thick piece. Yeah, we're gonna do 120. Alright, that's good. Look at that, yeah. Now I'm gonna put it on this side, which is still hot, but not on. I'm gonna put it right into the middle. And as you're about to see, it's only 56 degrees. So, this, oh my god, I'm smoking this place out. This is gonna go into the oven at 56 degrees. And I'm actually gonna speak to a point here after I do this, as I'm burning my place down. Almost had a flame there. Bear with me, folks. I'm gonna put this right in here. And that guy's gonna cook till he's at 120. Let's see those Jicama fries. Yeah, they're fine for now. All right, so we're at 58. See, it's rising. As soon as it gets to 120, it beeps, and we're done. All right, so one thing I want to talk to you guys about. So there's a bit of a rumor out there talking about bringing temperature of meat down to room temperature before you cook it.
What you talking about, Willis?
Down to room temperature.
What you talking about?
Down to room temperature.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Let me just say, that was outside of the fridge for maybe 15 minutes. It was cooking, obviously 1, 2, flip, 3, 4, flip. It was probably cooking for a solid 10 to 15 minutes on all of its sides. And it was only at 56 degrees Fahrenheit inside. So if you're gonna take a steak out of the fridge and expect it to get to room temperature before you cook it, it's gonna sit there for hours. Next time you guys take a steak out of the fridge, and most of these like online forums will say like, do it for an hour. I guarantee you it won't even be above 40 degrees. If it's at 42 degrees, what's the difference? I would say cook it at a little bit lower temperature, let the inside get to temp more slowly. That way it doesn't singe the outsides and dry it out by the time the middle does get to temp that you want it at. And it'll be where you need it to be. It's not gonna make a difference. I'm debunking that theory that you can bring a steak up, or that you should bring a steak up, or even pork chops or chicken for that matter, to room temperature. It does nothing. It takes half a day for it to actually get to room temperature like you think it is. Just leave it in the fridge, and then when you're ready to cook it, do your cooking. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I just got the alarm. We are at 121. I'm gonna give it one more degree. Let's give it one more degree. And I decided not doing béarnaise sauce. Ran out of time. All right, there is our alarm. This is gonna be fun. On your mark, get set, go. Let's get this guy out of the oven. Oh, look at that. Look at that. The beauty of the sear into a bake to get it to temp. Now what I am gonna do is be very careful, because I want to get it off of this cooking stone, or the cast iron, because that's gonna keep heating it up. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put it right there. That way some of the juices can drip off. Look at that, that's still hot. That's crazy. So if I had left the steak on there, it would have just kept cooking. And I don't want that. I want it to just like chill, baby, chill. Oh my God, that is like so much meat. Okay, the jicama fries. You know what, I'm gonna broil those mothers. Let's broil it at a low temp, because that's gonna come from the top of the oven, whereas the bake comes from the bottom. Let's try that, because they needed to get cooking. I don't need béarnaise sauce. That's gonna be good all by itself. I'm gonna leave it how it is. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Okay, be right back. I'm gonna check on these guys. I had on a broil now. And oh, see how they're getting a little crinkly almost? That's better. They're still a little soft. But that's okay, they're getting better. That broil is where I'm gonna need them to be. Let's try to flip some of these. And you can see how they shrink. So you wanna, that's what I did last time. I cut them way too small last time, so when they shrunk, they just got like nothing. All right, so let's go back in for a little bit. This guy is just... Yeah, you know what, I'm gonna show you something. So I took it out at 122, right? I'm gonna plug it back in. At 74 air temp. So I'm gonna plug it back in. Put it right there. We're gonna go back in, right kind of in the middle. Look at that, immediately 142. Well, so many of you are gonna say that's overcooked, and that's okay. But the point is, and that's me having to learn a thick cut of steak like this is gonna rise 20 degrees, whereas maybe a traditional steak rises 10. But that's the point. You want to take it out beneath where you want it to finish, because it's going to keep cooking. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, jicama's probably just a couple minutes before being done. I'm going to start cutting the steak so you guys can see it. I'm going to use a inexpensive knife to cut around the bone. Okay. All right, now This is what you guys are gonna want to see here. Like I said, a little bit overdone, but that's all right. It is juicy. It is, oh, it's gonna be so good. Mm. Mm. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna place this guy up on that guy. I'm gonna grab it like this. We're gonna plate it like that. Okay. I'm gonna spread this out like that. Okay. And then let's spread this guy a little bit more like this. And I'm gonna venture a guess that these guys, oh, a little bit burnt. Perfect. And now what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna throw these guys right on the tray. Like that. Get some burnt ones on top for some color effect. Get back here. Just for some color. Yeah, baby. What do we think?
Come on. Let's take this party up a notch. Hey, come on. Yo.
Got some money in the bank, got some gas in the car. I got some bottles in the back where the passengers are. I pull up to the party, make a dash to the bars. And hit me with your best shot like Pat Benatar. Move back, then I start making my way to the floor. Leave all your inhibitions and your hate at the door. It's settled what we debating it for. I got a bottle of Don Julio I've been waiting to pour. So fill your cup, throw it back, hit you straight to the core. And when I see my cup empty, I'll be craving some more. The DJ's not mixing, he's creating a score. He's got the ladies on their feet like the race for the cure. They on the tables and floor, shaking what their mama gave them. If you got them, please smoke them. I'm about to trying to save them. Around 3 a.m. when I look at the watch. Let's take